Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faithful Acolytes, we take a look at this. And what this is from Butterfly Bakery, it is the Maple Rum Chipotle hot sauce. And again, like Chipotle is not normally something I would go down to for a sauce, but this one sounded really interesting. So we have a maple rum. They're saying pizza, carne asada, and burgers. Pizza, I did try the pizza. It was a bit too vinegary for me on pizza. And I think that would be the case for carne asada and burgers as well. But there is smokiness to this. So you could get a very nice dosage for your red meat. 3 out of 6 peppers, which will put it at about a 5 for heat for me, but it definitely is nowhere near that. And here's why. We have maple wood smoked jalapeno. And jalapeno is the hottest thing in here. That is the heat driver. And of course jalapeno, smoked jalapeno is the chipotle, of course. And that is not particularly what I've ever found to be a hot pepper. Organic white vinegar, maple syrup, St. Johnsbury Distillery, maple rum, and salt. So again, very, very few ingredients. This is mostly peppers with some complementary liquids, vinegar and rum, and the maple syrup, along with a little dash of salt to do ya. Obviously, they use red jalapenos for this. And so I did a video on the Chipotle squash from Butterfly Bakery, and in that one I said it was very much a sauce that just reminded me of fall. This one is reminiscent of that. Just the smell, whatever they're using to smoke the jalapenos is very reminiscent of that time for me. And I really appreciate that because I love that smell. But you can see here we have this lot of particulates in there, giving it this sort of dense coloration there. A lot of pepper bits in it. Mostly a red-orange type sauce. I think it looks very lovely. I really... There's not too many sauces from them that I don't think look quite good. But let's get on into it. Oh, you just get that whiff of that right before you get the flavors. It is just so delicious. I mean, obviously you can see I've had a fair bit of this. I've tried it out on a few things. And it is like very delectable. It is quite tasty. And for a Chipotle, it does have a little bit of a spark to it. It's not punishing by any means, but there's a nice little tingle there, which is more than most Chipotle sauces will do for me. So there is a story on the post section on right here on the YouTubes.com, wherein there was a picture I took and I posted it up there, and there's a little story that kind of goes with it. So what I had in mind was actually to try this for something else, and it wound up not working. That will play into our stuff today, because this right here is pulled chicken. This is some pulled chicken that I got from, there's a grocery store just down the street that has a smoker. They have some pretty questionable ribs that they smoke there. And I thought, you know what? This would actually elevate those probably quite a bit. So I went there. To get the ribs. They didn't have any. And I went, well, now what am I doing? The video was, the first thing I was going to do was try some fish tacos. It didn't work there. And that's the picture you can see online. And I thought, all right, fish tacos, definitely this works extremely well with fried foods. Like chicken fingers or what have you. And I went, all right, but it's not, it doesn't work the way I would like it to with the fish tacos. I thought it was kind of iffy, but nothing ventured, right? So I thought, okay, the ribs, it'll work with the ribs. I go there, no ribs, but I'm looking around and I see just this pulled chicken that they had, which looked just wonderful. And I got the lid open, and that's why I'm sampling it right now to get a feel for it. The smell was heavenly. It's quite moist, quite juicy. And I thought, you know what? That ought to do it. And I still had some of these tortilla shells left over. And I thought, you know what? Let's do pulled chicken. A sort of pulled chicken taco. Normally I would put other stuff in it as well. I don't have any other stuff. Honestly, I was just going to have the chicken. I didn't even remember I had the tortillas till I got home. Or I would have got maybe some more cabbage or something to go with it. But this will be just fine, I think. Make sure we get it nice and coated here. And let's make up some. Essentially, this is just just chicken on these shells. I mean, I kind of strain calling these tacos at all, but and I'm definitely overfilling that one. Okay. And we'll throw some in this for the last one. See how close we get here. So there's kind of the chicken tacos. What I probably should have done was to get some cheese. Some nice cheddar to go on this, but if I was making like barbecue chicken tacos, I would have, but this is just basically, you know, this hot sauce with the pulled chicken just to use up some of these shells. I think we need to throw a little bit more of that on there, Ian. This is such an excellent sauce, and it's working so well with the smokiness of this smoked chicken. There we go. Just tremendous. This would complement barbecue sauce, I think, really well. It does add just the tiniest degree of punch to things. Yeah, quite nice. That is really good. A little bit of cheddar to offset this would have been magical. Or better yet, some nice coleslaw. I'm out of that too. I probably should make some more of that. Do a chili head coleslaw. This is excellent. Nice juicy chicken. Made a little bit wetter. It's truly tremendous. I mean, this is just another excellent sauce from Butterfly. Among many. Among many, many, many. And because this one's so very flavorful, so I think this is something you could definitely use as a gateway sauce. And so this also illustrates, I think, extremely well, maybe more so than quite a few other sauces I've had, the differences between like a fresh Chipotle versus stuff that's been sitting in a can, for instance, for however long. Like some of their other sauces, it's just so fresh and vibrant. And the other thing about being, a gateway sauce is not only is it extremely flavorful, but it's not going to be punishing either. So we have some of that good best of both worlds action. Chili heads, I think, will appreciate this sauce because it is very flavorful. It is an excellent tasting sauce. As long as they're chili heads like me, where flavor is the most important thing. They're foodies first. This would have been so much better with coleslaw. I'm kicking myself a bit. It's kind of funny, sometimes you make stuff. This is quite enjoyable, but all I can think about is how much better this would have been with some coleslaw. Oh well. Yeah, I mean, the pulled chicken definitely smelled better than it was. I mean, it wasn't bad by any means, especially for grocery store smoked items. It was just, as you might guess, lacking just a tad in the flavor department. Had they sunk more spices on it, maybe Maybe even let it smoke a little longer. That would have been pretty nice. I mean, they've got a smoker box there. I'm glad they're doing it at all. It saves me having to buy a charcoal grill, which I don't really want to do. I'm not set up for it very well. But I'll tell you this, like if you're doing, for instance, a beer can chicken, you're way better off with a charcoal grill than you are with, the propane trash that I have, where I can just grill stuff and, kind of make do with that. Maybe someday I was really into it for a while, but kind of dropped off. Maybe someday I'll get back into it again. It would be fun to be able to have like a chicken that I'd made and prepared and smoked myself, and then made some coleslaw and then had something like this on here. But yeah, this is a extremely lovely sauce. I like this quite a bit. And part of the sort of bitey nature of it could be the rum itself, possibly. I don't know that they cooked out the rum. I'm assuming they didn't. And so that the very slight bitey nature could be a little bit. I really doubt it, but it could be a little bit of that as well. But yeah, this is just another really, really lovely blend. If you're not familiar with fresh chipotle as a flavor, this is a good one to get regardless. But this is definitely something that should be on your radar. It doesn't read very strongly of booze or anything like that. And that I think really gets down to, I've said it before, I'm not a fan of booze in hot sauces generally. But part of that has to do with it not being in the right hands. In the hands of a maestro, for instance, like the crew over Butterfly Bakery, it is definitely a wonderful note. And what can I say? This is another exemplary offering from Butterfly Bakery. Definitely, if you like more vinegar forward sauces, but you also really, really like the fresh smoked smokiness of the fresh chipotles, this is, I think, definitely something that you ought to give some strong consideration and tracking down. I mean, they just make really excellent sauces at Butterfly. This is another one, and we'll leave it right there. So that was the Butterfly Bakery Maple Rum Chipotle Hot Sauce. Now go forth in peace to serve the flame.